This is a cracking piece of archaeology, isn't it?
Thank you, Mick.
It really is. Do we understand it now?
I think we actually do. I think what you're looking at here is the front facade of the Royal Lodges. We think it's actually built in probably 2 phases. They put up one skin of bricks and then added. But the most obvious thing are these 2 bay windows, one there and one over there, which they've actually added on to the front of the building.
So it's got a whole series of glass windows up the front of it.
It really shows how important this is. And we checked this out. It could have been a garderobe. Turns out that, in fact, it is just a massive bay window.
Yeah. We've had glass out of here as well.
Oh,
so
right.
Anyway, once we come into the building, we've got a room on that side and a room on that side.
So a partition wall down the middle.
Well, it's more than a partition. Look at the size of it. Look at the foundations.
It's big as the outer wall, isn't it?
And you see here, look, you see we've got a whole series of these little niches cut into that wall. Now, I reckon that's where the flooring joist would have been. So if you allow for the flooring joist and allow for the floorboards on the top, I reckon that floor level is about here and you would have looked out down over the valley.
So it would work out to be about 30 foot in depth, and I mean, you could say it is literally palatial.
We may not have found a Tudor ensuite bathroom, but these remains show the sheer scale of the apartments that would have greeted the royal entourage. This new layout has got one final treat in store for us. After careful measurement and cross-referencing with the 1585 inventory, it seems we may have stumbled across the bedchamber of a certain Henry VIII.
By 1541, when Henry came here, he had a badly ulcerated leg and he wasn't as mobile. And in fact, he would have stayed in this building on the ground floor, not the first floor, as a monarch would normally have done.
Why's that?
Well, we think that because when Henry VIII's bed was actually given away by the second Earl of Bedford in 1585, it was actually on the lower floor, in the lower chamber. Now, the royal bed was absolutely huge. You didn't just bring it into the room, it was probably built inside the room and wouldn't go out through the door.
It's bizarre, isn't it, that we're in this old bus, and yet at some time in history, King Henry VIII might have been just here, gazing out into the garden with his separated leg.
Well, I think that's entirely possible.
And this would have been just one small part of the fair lodgings that Sir John Russell had built for his royal visitors. Because wedged between the dining bus and the portable toilets, geophys have been able to confirm Stuart's suggested extent of the missing Tudor range.
As you get up to the line, there's a definite response where the front wall is.
Anything?
Yeah, pretty much where they put the marker.
We've not done that much radar on a site before, have we? As far as I can remember.
And I'd be happy not to do it again. Look, key points.
Yeah.
There in the shed where you sent us. We've got a clear demarcation there.
Right.
And that lines up perfectly.
Oh, excellent.
That's
with the
Phil's
walls
excavation
in Phil's
walls,
trench going through there. Possible back wall at that point there, running through. Just this side of the bus.
Under the concrete.
So if we hadn't have parked the dining bus there, we might have been able to have a look at it.
And if there hadn't been concrete.
And it hadn't been concrete, right. But at least it's given us a width for the building.
It's brilliant, isn't it? These results fill in the unknowns on our plan, giving us a wing that was 30 feet at its widest and ran from the gatehouse all the way to the church. It's the final bit of evidence Jonathan needs.
This array of buildings we've got with the glass looking down onto the gardens, and where we started with this courtyard, we still have that. We still have the hall there and the lodgings. Yeah. What we've discovered since is a building something like 6 times the size of the one we started off with, and is now looking much more like a small town.
Yeah. And yet all that now remains of this grand palace is a beautiful fraction of its former glory.
Hello, my name's John Gator. Time Team is fan-funded by Patreon. This vital support helps us to make new episodes. Joining Patreon gives you access to exclusive interviews, 3D models and masterclasses, plus lots more.